Week was good. Week was very busy. We're moving into Sterling Food Hall. I don't know. I'm assuming last time we talked about that, but got a lot of things in the works. Starting to feel a little bit better about sort of the progress that we've made, sort of the progress that we are making. At this point in time, we have contacted a guy who's going to help us out with equipment, and so we've already paid him. Thankfully, because the space is so small, like to pay him to like configure the space is actually not that much at all. And all he's doing
Mhm.
is designing the space and finding what equipment will work for us, and then we
Mhm.
will submit the specs to the building. We've gotten some branding work underway. So we had like a really big branding discussion last week on Friday. It was like a 3.5 hour meeting
Wow.
where like we go through like all of the sort of the brand identity and like where you're trying to go and things like that. And it was interesting because like Jimmy and I think it was the first time we actually sort of verbalized that and
Mhm.
was productive. It was cool to see where we were pretty aligned versus where we weren't. Thankfully, for the most part, we were aligned on pretty much everything except for like a couple of small details. Um, We have some equipment on the way. We did get scammed out of some equipment. That's actually marketing wise, this can be the next video that comes up. It was crazy. We tried to buy some stuff used from Jungonara in Korea,
In
and
Korea, yeah.
he was like, everything looked fine. And then he was like, if you want me to deliver it to you, just pay me 50% down payment, and then we'll just ship it, and then you can send me the rest once you get it. Once we paid the 50%, the dude just disappeared.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. So, we reported it to the police and hopefully we'll get to the bottom of it, but we're not exactly sure, how it went. But
Hmm.
it sort of is what it is. I mean, I think Jimmy took it pretty hard because it's actually his family members that are sort of helping us out and like trying to source it for us. And so I think they were a little stressed. But for us, it's just like it is what it is, right? It's a really big learning lesson of the world is not as nice as we'd like to think, as much as we've been spoiled by the community here.
Hmm.
It is ruthless, it is cutthroat. Like money is money, and you will fight for that money, and you will do what it takes. And I think this is a good lesson of that. So
Hmm.
from now on, I mean, it just makes us very aware of like what we're doing. Um, all in all, it's not a big amount. So I mean, it is a big amount, but it's in the grand scheme of things, it's not that bad. It could have been a lot worse.
Hmm.
And so for right now, we're just saying, hey, we're glad it happened early. So
Hmm.
that happened, and then marketing wise, still doing good. Posting on social media. Social media is essentially the only way we're marketing right now. Soon we will go on Google and Yelp and all that stuff, and we'll try to start getting reviews and things like that. But that's sort of where we're at. Feeling good, and I will say it's a little bit nerve-wracking because it's already mid-September, and we need to basically be ready by early October in my mind. At the latest, we need to be ready by mid-October so that we can be ready by late October. It's like every day that goes by, especially the weekdays, it's like you have to make progress. Otherwise, you don't really know where you're going, and you just hope that the progress that you are making is good enough for you to get ready for opening day.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, but we do have a little bit of time still. So I mean, there's no inherent pressure yet.
Hmm.
Usually, some of the bigger stalls that like know what they're doing usually can get up there. They can get their stall up in like 3 or 4 weeks. So when
Wow.
it really comes to crunch time, I think we can really get it up. I mean, the good news is like we don't require any permits. We're not changing anything big. Like, no, there's no lead times that are going to be too extensive.
Hmm.
It's just about how fast can we get it. And because it's our first time, it's like how can we test out the operations before we go in full force and then expect us to really be ready for it.
Right. Yeah. So is that the goal? By October, you have some type of operation going, maybe test trials and people actually buying from your storefront?
Yeah, I would love to buy. So early October, we might take on a couple events, like smaller events
Hmm.
where we just do like a test run using that facility.
Ah,
I
okay.
think when it comes time in sort of the you know, um, late October time, I'm hoping we can do a little bit of a soft opening. I'm not exactly sure what the plan is there yet, but it
Hmm.
might just be that for the first few weeks we just do a soft opening in November. I'm not exactly sure.
Hmm. Hmm. And these are what in your mind kind of like full-time, was it like 9 to 5 stuff going on, or is it just like until it runs out?
No, so the soft opening will probably be limited amount, so we'll just stock up on how
Hmm.
much we have, and then once we're out, we're out.
Okay.
We are required to be open from 11 to 7, and so we will have to see over time what that really means, and especially because it's the winter, it's going to be a lot less
Yeah.
volume. As the season picks up towards the summer, we're assuming sales will go up quite a bit, and so we will have to
Mhm.
be prepared for that. But
Mm,
we're hoping we're glad it's the winter actually, because operationally it actually gives us a little bit of time to relax and um not relax, but like get ramped up and get up to speed.
mm. So interesting. I kind of just thought of this while you were speaking. There's a pastry shop in LA that's called I think it's called Out of Ordi or something like that. It's like a 소금빵 stall.
Yeah.
Thing is that apparently how they started was it started just in a household. Like his mom and I think the daughter was baking in back home, just selling it to friends. And that led into like I guess gradually getting into a like a actual physical store. And the
Yeah.
thing is, when they did their soft opening, like I tried going there and it's always sold out.
Yeah.
So, and I guess that kind of kept people coming back. I don't know if that was like a strategic thing. I think it was more like they couldn't produce enough the pastries on time. But yeah, I guess I just kind of thought of how you guys are doing very similar stuff there.
Yeah, and I mean it's interesting because like being sold out, I think we talked about this a few weeks back, or I'm not sure if we did, but like being sold out is actually not the goal. I mean, that's never the goal, right? That means that
Yeah.
you don't have enough supply to meet demand. Ideally, you are right below selling out, right? You
Yeah,
essentially have like one or two left in stock. That's always perfect because you know
exactly.
exactly where demand is.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, for the first few weeks, I think we're just limited. Like we don't even know what demand is, but like we're just limited in what we make because we want to make it well and we want to see how we can operationalize, right? Because after a
Hmm.
certain point with after these recipes, it becomes about how fast can you
Yeah.
make these and how good can you make them fast?
Hmm.
Because these people want something fast and the perception of value has to be there. So.
Yeah. And how's the interaction with would you call it like the designer of the space? How did that go with him?
It was great. I mean, it's not like I went in there blind, right? Like I had an idea of what I wanted. I had an idea of sort of where the flow was going to be. We talked a lot about the flow of where customers are going to come in, where we're going to roll it, and then where we're going to cut it, and then where we're going to package. In reality, the space is very small, so
Mm,
it's not a ton of space, unfortunately. We can fit everything we want, but it is going to be a bit of a tight squeeze. Um, but we essentially talked a few different options, right? One limitation is that we don't have a kitchen hood, and but there are plenty of ways to get around that. Um, there's also like the issue is that like we can't really take down the counter, and the counter is a pretty long, like it's a pretty like in terms of not length,
the
but like
depth. Yeah.
width
Yeah.
is pretty long, and so it's really uncomfortable because it's at an awkward height, and so we can't actually take that down, meaning we
Mm,
can't put equipment that we want on it. And so what we have to do is use the back wall instead,
mm,
which is never ideal, but I think for the time being, it'll just have to be that way. And
yeah.
then we're hopefully just going to stuff as many people in there and then operationalize and just make it as efficient as possible. I don't know what it's going to look like yet. I mean, I
Mm,
have an idea and we drew out what we're going to want and we talked about all the equipment and I'm pretty sure they're going to give us a layout within the next week or so. Um, but yeah, I'm excited on one hand. I'm very nervous on the other. I think equipment is probably going to be the one of the things that just like I need to see it in person in the stall before I'm comfortable with it.
mhm,
So like we are just trying to move along with that as fast as possible. The brand design, I mean, it's sort of we know what we're getting and we know that we're going to get it for sure. So it's not as worrying.
mm,
I think the things that always give me heartburn is just the things that you don't really have control over. So as an example, once you put the equipment into the building, like they might take 2 days, they might take 2 weeks to respond, right? They
yeah.
usually get back in a couple days, but we have a couple machines from Korea, which shouldn't be a problem, but like we still need to submit it, and that means that I need the layout by like this week,
Mm,
so that we can ship it and get it ready by like next week.
mm,
Um, so. Yeah, so we'll have to see. And then there's obviously the thing of like we still need to finalize a menu. We have most of it down. I think the thing that is really tricky for us is we want to do a side, but like we just like physically it's going to be hard for us to do a side.
mm,
And so I think we have some decisions to make around what kind of side we want to do.
mhm,
Thankfully, I mean, we got a new team member. His name is Tay, but he's been incredible. I mean, he's been helping us with a lot of the food, a lot of the operational aspects, like
mhm,
the egg, we actually have a sort of a solution to how we're going to do the egg, which is
mhm.
really exciting. And so hopefully that really pans out and we can make that work. Um, but yeah, I think it's just going to be a matter of just seeing it and seeing how it comes to life.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's exciting to have a new energy, new person on the team. Can you expand on how that's like right now?
Yeah, it's great. And again, I think the phrase that you have to be very selective about people is very true. I think so far we've gotten very lucky with him, and time will tell.
Hmm.
But he's been great. I mean, he's very much he sort of has a finance background, so
Hmm.
he's in the finance world with a very big passion for food, very similar to us. And it seems like he's very driven and very motivated to stay with us and sort of do what we need to do. But he's also very like, he's very he's not just like in it for just to be in it. I think he really likes what we are doing. He really likes the
Hmm.
food that we're doing, and he wants to stay here for a while.
Hmm.
And so what's been great about him is that like I can bounce ideas off of him and I can actually ask him to look up certain things and like research certain things, buy certain things. And I think that just increases, and this is actually something Jimmy said, but he was like, I think my productivity has just gone really through the roof just because I have somebody to bounce ideas with. And once we bounce ideas off of each other, then it's about action, it's about execution. And then I move to execution pretty quickly.
Hmm.
Whereas before I'd be like, oh, I think this is a good idea, and then I just kind of linger on it for a little bit because I don't really have anybody to talk about it with. And
Yeah.
Jimmy's great, but Jimmy's usually like, okay, like just try it, or like that costs a lot of money. Is like, is that really worth it, right? And so to have somebody that's like, hey, I think this could be a solution, like let's just try it and figure it out. Like I think that's been really great.
Oh, no, that's wonderful to hear. Wow. So it seems like J Jimmy's still kind of doing his, back end kind of work. You and Tay, I guess, is kind of focusing on, moving forward with some of these action items, getting it done, also kind
Yeah.
of ideating together as well.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So I think Tay and I are going to do some more of the product, more of the front facing. Obviously, I do a lot of the media. I do a lot of the outreach. So I do a lot of the talking essentially.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, Jimmy basically plays the role of like, hey, don't be stupid and spend all your money on stupid stuff, which actually is probably one of the most, if not the most important aspect about starting a business is like realistically, it's a business. It's not a charity. It's not for fun.
Hmm.
You have to survive. And one of the ways to survive is you always have to be very careful of your costs because those costs, man. I mean, even as an example, we're finding that getting a insurance quote for us right now, because we don't have any history,
Mm.
it's going to be in like the tens of thousands of dollars per year. Uh,
Wow.
and so, I mean, right off the bat, we're like, well, I mean, that's 13 times what we're paying normally as of right now. And so, things like that, it's just completely unexpected. But that's a huge chunk of our investment, right? That's going into that.
Yeah.
Branding costs a lot of money.
Mm.
And then, this equipment obviously will cost a lot of money. Thankfully, the equipment is actually not as expensive as we had thought, but we still have to do it. We still have to secure wholesale food. So like, going to US Foods and Cisco and getting wholesale, and getting that shipped to us. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff to figure out. I mean, it's just never ending. I think what I'm trying to balance is like I'm trying not to just overwork myself too much, especially now that I have a lot of time.
Hmm.
What I'm finding is now that I have a lot of time, I actually have it's fantastic. I love it, but I'm finding also that I don't make time to do other things.
Mm.
And so like right now, I actually went to play pickleball for a little bit for the
Hmm.
first time like ever. It was great. I mean, it was fun. It was good weather. It was a lot of people, and it was just nice to be outside, not doing Kimbap stuff or thinking about Kimbap stuff. And I was
Hmm.
like, oh, no wonder people take a little break. I don't need to take a vacation. Like and I can't really afford to take one right now from a time perspective. Um, but yeah, little things like that, man. It's not like the 2 hours that I spent there. I was going to be mega productive anyway, right? So
Hmm.
to me, that's a win if I can take one.
Yeah, no, let's kind of talk more about that. I think that's a topic that I've recently kind of thought about as well. What is really like productivity? What does it mean to give it your best? And since that now you're in this time where you're shifting from kind of, I guess, juggling something at the same time with your idea, but now full all in. You have much more time. You have much more time to work on yourself, but also kind of put your attention to the business. So. How's that balance been? Any new tips or tricks on your end that has been I guess kind of working or trying to figure out yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of tough. I think that's something that I'll probably struggle with for a long time is just I mean, I all I think about is really just work or like
Yeah.
what I always feel the problem is there's so many things to do. And it's the same thing with any job you have to, right? It's like the same thing in consulting. You have so many things to do, you just don't have enough time.
Yeah.
Or you just don't have, enough actual like productive times to actually do some things. What I find that for me is like I'm a very much a morning person. So like now I've been trying to go to bed a little earlier. It really hasn't been working very recently just because I have so much stuff to do at night. But
Hmm.
I'm very much a morning person. So I really like those 2 hours or 3 hours in the morning where I can like just relax. And
Hmm.
not really think about anything.
Hmm.
Um, sorry, not I think like the reason why I like the morning time is because I can think about things. Like I feel like I'm the most productive. My brain is the most vibrant. Like I'm the most creative. My focus is incredible in the morning.
Hmm.
Past that 11, 12 o'clock mark, I'm like once I take a little break, my productivity just tanks. And so at that point, it's like I either need to go out and take meetings or like I need to go out and do something so
Hmm.
that I keep myself preoccupied. In
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
morning, I really like that alone time. And so I will either go work out in that time or I will go come here and write a bunch of emails, which is probably what I'll have to do tomorrow. But like
Hmm.
my morning time, I really like reserved for me.
Hmm.
If I could, I would go to bed at like 10 and then
Hmm.
I would wake up at like 5.
Hmm.
Realistically, my schedule that cannot, there's no way. And so right now it's been more like I go to bed at midnight or 1 and I'll wake up at like 7 or 8.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's been good enough for now, but I really, I value that morning time a lot. And so I think I'm going to try to make a more proactive effort to really just hone in on that morning time.
Hmm. Wow. No, sounds like the ideal time.
Yeah, but it's not, yeah, that's exactly right. It's an ideal time. I haven't actually ever gone to bed at 10. I've tried laying down at like 10:30 and then I go to bed at like 11:30. So
Mm.
I'm like at that point, I might as well. And then I wake up at like 7 and I'm like, I'm really tired. So I was like, I'm going to sleep until 7:30 because I have nothing going on, right? Typically that time is like my favorite time.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, I will try to make that a little bit more of a habit, especially this week. And then I will also try to exercise. I think exercising in the morning has been something that's really been important for me. So
Mm. Yeah, and I guess congrats on your, I guess, last pop-up. Is that it?
yeah, this
Isn't
was
today the
it.
last pop-up? Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Actually, I realized now that I think about that, I woke up at 4 in the morning today to do that. So good thing you brought it up. It went really well.
Hmm.
Like we sold out in again. It was like our first pop up where we sold out really fast. Now, granted, we only made like 60 rolls, which is like a lot less than normal. But
Hmm.
the past few weeks, we've made the same amount, and we haven't sold out or even come close.
Mm.
I mean, we came pretty close, but like we haven't really sold out for in a while, and so we're getting pretty discouraged. But today, I mean, like it's not like it was like a line out the door, but it was a steady flow of people, and
Hmm. Hmm.
people ended up buying quite a bit. And by like 12:30, we were out of everything. And
Wow.
but I will credit the owner. Her name is Sandy, but she is incredible. I mean, like just an absolute, just an incredible human being, and just like from a business perspective too, I think she understands what it means to try and support us. And like she's bought from us. She's like came to our pop-up like 3 times. And
Wow.
like, she's bought from us every time. Like we offered to comp her things and she's like, don't do that. Like she wants to support us. And like she's
Hmm.
actually when we went to the store, she's actually spread the word. And so a lot of the people that came because Sandy told them about it.
Oh.
And so we actually, I mean, we credit a lot of the work to her, and she was actually kind of disappointed that we sold out so fast. And I was like, I mean, this is the first time, and we didn't, we just had no idea. And Sandy was like, oh yeah, I still have some people coming because originally we were supposed to stay till 3, but we were done at 12:30. And so we were like, I mean, that's I think is the best case scenario, but I don't know. So it just goes to show, right? There's a couple things. We think that area has a lot of gyms around. And so what ended up happening is, and there's like an Equinox or Equinox like right in front of that store.
Hmm.
And like the area is full of gyms and like Pilates and things like that apparently. And so what people did was they worked out and then they stopped by to grab some food and left. And so the people that go to places like that also are a little bit younger. So like they're attuned to sort of this social media thing and also this market of food and then like trying new things.
Hmm.
And so the people were very open-minded about it and so they would be willing to come out, especially because the foot traffic there was when I first went there, I was like, the foot traffic's not great, but actually you wait a little bit and there's a ton of people just walking around and there's like a few restaurants nearby
Hmm.
and so I think it had to do obviously one with Sandy the owner because she was just unbelievably great, but also just the sake of like where we are. And it's kind of crazy because initially we were like, it's a donut place. Like I don't know if people really want to come and eat kimbap, but like we did really well. So I think it just goes to show you, like with pop-ups, I think one of the big things that we realized now after doing probably 7 or 8 of them it's just really it's such a hard thing to predict, and it really is a hit or miss unless you're doing something that's so popular like a bakery that that generates so much hype and like people will go out and search you for it. But
Hmm.
up unfortunately is just not one of those items, and we're not big enough to really generate that kind of hype by ourselves.
Hmm.
And so, it really just is such an interesting dynamic of a pop-up, and I think that's sort of our conclusion from the summer is like pop-ups are a lot of fun. They're a little bit they're intense. I mean, for us, especially because the time that it takes to make it is so intense, but
Hmm.
it is really volatile. Like your predictors of success are not, you're probably not what you think they are, and you would have to do a lot of research to really make sure that those locations will suit what you need.
You know? Which makes sense. I mean, when we think about science experiments, we always try to have those dependable, independent and dependent variables, right? And
Right.
it's these pop-ups. You guys are kind of popping off like every location in Chicago, so it's hard to keep that track of what are the dependent variables, what are the independent variables that are influencing the
That's right.
sales.
That's right.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, again, it's been great. I mean, I'm glad we ended on a really strong note. And again, I mean, it's just I like Sandy. I refer to her, but like she's just such a nice person, such a nice, genuine person that like you can't
Hmm.
help but just be in awe of somebody like that.
Hmm.
Because like we don't even know her, and yet she's come to a bunch of our pop-ups and she's shown nothing but support. So like, what an incredible experience.
Yeah. And I think that's the beauty of being in your situation where you're starting to kind of spread your word, your love for your food, and being able to meet like-minded people. Especially, it seems like from your social media, you've been kind of connecting with different community members in Chicago. And yeah, how's that experience? What are
Yeah.
some things you kind of see, commonalities that you see, or things that you've learned?
Yeah, I will say, I mean, the community here is has been nothing but supportive. I mean, again, I like and we will pay back in kind, but actually, so Juno, as a part of Haru Haru, is someone that I met through a pop-up at Mr. Tiger where I used to work.
Hmm.
And I mean, he's such a nice, I mean, such a obviously very talented and does works his wonders with food, but also such a nice and genuine like guy. And he's actually,
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure he's similar in age to me, and he has a very similar background to me, right? Where he came to the States when he was young. He's still pretty rooted in his Korean heritage.
Hmm.
Uh, he chose obviously a very different path. He went to culinary school. I went to business school, and yet our class, we're in the same spot. It seems
Hmm.
like you need a little bit of both to make this work. But
Hmm.
we got to talking, and I think we are because we're in such similar boats, and like
Yeah.
we sort of want similar things. It's always really fun talking with him. Mr. Tiger is obviously someplace that connects us because I've worked there, and obviously has close ties because we're all Korean
Hmm.
American, and we obviously want to create that kind of community for ourselves. Conan and Francis, I mean, they're part of the Filipino community, and honestly, the Filipino community has been really popping off. I mean,
Hmm.
it's been amazing to see, and um, like it's just, I mean, and they're like very welcoming of other cultures like that. They accept it all. I mean, like it's such an incredible thing, and they're super welcoming and super inclusive, and always willing to help. Like they don't gatekeep anything. Like if there's anything we need to know, they usually just straight up tell us. And like we met Francis for the first time, but like, bro, like they're just such nice people. And like you're just like, no wonder everybody likes them. Like you can't not like these people. And so
Hmm.
what we wanted to do was we essentially wanted to meet them and go say hello for a variety of reasons. Juno was doing Haruhara was doing that pop-up with Kanin, which ended up being perfect because we are somewhat connected to both, and we love talking to them. And so we went and showed support, took a few pictures, and Mr. Tiger actually ended up being Brian from Mr. Tiger ended up being there at a very similar time. So we
Oh.
were just like, we'll stick around, hang out with him for a bit. Obviously, I'm pretty close with Brian because I worked at the restaurant for a while, and
Hmm.
got to meet Francis, who's very, prominent in that space as well. So, very cool experience. But and I intend to, hopefully the community will continue to grow and grow, and those like-minded people will just, continue to grow and do great things.
Wow. No, I think it's a lovely kind of scene to look at as well. It's since like I've seen those times where you've talked about your own dreams by yourself, still kind of under the hood. And now you're able to kind of share your passion and talk about these different, more intricate conversations with these people who are on the same boat as you, heading towards, I guess, their separate ways, but also towards kind of like a similar direction. So it's just good to see and great to see that things that have accumulated over the time has come to
Yeah.
this moment where you're able to share that moment with them. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's been a lot of fun.
yeah,
And it will continue to be a lot of fun. It will continue to be very hard. I think what connects us all is that this industry is very hard. And I think that's why we sort of clump up even more together because we know how hard it is and all of us are in it together and we're in it for the right reasons, it seems.
hmm
Um, but yeah, I think the real work is to come.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, yeah, makes sense. Wow, that's a handful, Michael. And
Yeah,
yeah,
there's a
well,
lot
once
going on.
again, congrats
Thank
on
you.
your pop-up era coming to a
Yeah, I
short
didn't even
end.
think about it like that. Yeah, but no, you're right. I think, and this is something that's been really important for us. But growth is a big part of business, and I think we're taking the right steps in growing and growing sort of in the right direction. And so hopefully it'll pay off. That's what risk is, and hopefully and sometimes it won't. Right? Like we just lost $2,500 like that. You know, that's just is what it is. And so the concept of risk, I think we've been blessed that for the most part our risk has been paying off. But again, you have to be very aware. Literally what the risk means is that there is something that could bad that could happen. So, just try to mitigate as much as possible and just keep moving forward.
Yeah, lesson learned. Yeah, very cool, Michael. No, it's been once again just at least for me very pleasure to just see that growth. It seems like you're a better influencer as well. It just seems natural now at this point,
Yeah.
but
And we're getting more creative. And at this point, I think it's just the numbers game, and so we are focusing less on just like, hey, if we get a lot of views, that's great. If not, then we'll just keep going and post and we'll get lucky and post something that's interesting for everybody. And if not, then we'll just keep posting until that happens. So,
yeah,
so
no. Awesome. Great. It seems like it's been a great week and I guess I want to say the next chapter is starting to open for you as well.
it
So
is.
looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
Thanks, man. Sounds good. I'll catch up with you very soon.
Yeah. Take care, Michael. See you next week.